Hey everyone, welcome back to TalkiCast. I'm Tony, and I'm so happy you're here with us again. You know, every time I sit down to record, I imagine all of you, maybe on your way to work, walking your dog, or just lying on your bed with your headphones on. And I just feel proud, because you're not giving up. You're here, learning, trying, improving, and that's amazing.
Hi, friends. I'm Victoria. And yes, Tony, you're absolutely right. Every single person listening right now is doing something powerful. They're learning. They're building a new skill that will change their future. And that's something to celebrate.
Today, we're talking about one of the biggest fears every English learner has, making mistakes. You know that feeling, right? You want to say something in English, but your brain suddenly goes, wait, what if I say it wrong? What if people laugh? And then you stay quiet.
Oh, yes, Tony. I know that feeling. I think we all do. When I first started learning French, I was terrified to speak. I always worried I'd sound silly. But then I realized people didn't care about my grammar. They cared about my effort. They saw I was trying, and that made them smile.
Exactly. Effort is everything. You see, perfection is an illusion. No one, not even native speakers, speaks perfectly all the time. Sometimes they forget words, use the wrong tense, or pause to think. The difference is they don't stop speaking.
Right. Making mistakes means you're doing something. It means you're learning. Imagine a baby learning to walk. They fall so many times, but they don't stop, right? They fall, cry a little, and try again. And one day, they walk. The same goes for learning English.
You know what's funny? Even as a teacher, I make mistakes. Sometimes I mix up words or forget a phrase when I'm tired, but I laugh about it because it's normal. Language isn't about being perfect. It's about connecting.
Yes, communication first, perfection second. When you speak, people don't expect you to sound like a movie actor. They just want to understand you. And honestly, most people love it when you try to speak their language.
Let me tell you a story. I once had a student named Leo. He was super shy, always scared to speak. But every week, I asked him one question. What's one mistake you made this week? At first, he didn't like it, but then he realized something powerful. Each mistake was actually a lesson. After a few months, he was speaking confidently.
That's beautiful. I love that. Because you're right. Mistakes are like teachers. They show you where to grow. I remember one time I said, I am boring, instead of I am bored. My friends laughed and explained the difference. I never forgot that again. That's beautiful. I love that. Because you're right. Mistakes are like teachers. They show you where to grow. I remember one time I said, I am boring, instead of I am bored. My friends laughed and explained the difference. I never forgot that again.
Exactly. A single mistake can teach you more than 100 grammar exercises.
And dear listeners, maybe today you're listening and thinking, but I make too many mistakes. No, my friend, you're just learning fast. You're doing what every successful person does. Every expert was once a beginner.
That's so true. Think about famous people like Michael Jordan. He said, I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Or J.K. Rowling. She was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global success. Mistakes, failure, rejection, they are part of the journey.
Yes, and you know what? Even language learners who speak fluently now, they also started from zero. They made grammar mistakes, they forgot words, but they kept going.
So what can we do when we make a mistake? First, don't panic. Take a deep breath. Laugh if you can. Then try again. That's it. Simple. Every time you do that, your brain becomes stronger.
Here's a tip. When you make a mistake, repeat it correctly. That helps your memory. For example, if you said, "He go to school," and someone corrects you, don't feel embarrassed. Just repeat, he goes to school. Now you've learned it forever.
Yes, repeat, don't retreat. That's my rule.
I like that. Repeat, don't retreat. That's perfect.
And here's something else. Sometimes people think, oh, I don't want to speak until my English is perfect. But guess what? That day never comes. You get better by speaking, not by waiting.
Yes, perfection is not the goal. Progress is. If you speak a little better today than yesterday, you're winning. You're moving forward. You're growing.
Let's talk about fear a bit. Fear is natural, but if you always wait to feel confident before speaking, you'll wait forever. Confidence comes after action, not before.
That's true. Every confident person you see today was once scared. They just decided to speak anyway. That's how courage is built. One word, one sentence, one small conversation at a time. That's true. Every confident person you see today was once scared. They just decided to speak anyway. That's how courage is built. One word, one sentence, one small conversation at a time.
Okay, Victoria, I want to ask, what was your biggest mistake when learning another language?
There are so many, but one that I'll never forget. I was in Italy, and I wanted to say I'm hot, but I used the wrong word and said something very embarrassing. Let's just say the waiter looked very surprised.
I can imagine. But see, you didn't die. You didn't stop speaking, and now it's a funny story.
Exactly. It's something I can laugh about now. And that's the point. Mistakes make stories. They make memories. So never be afraid of them.
You know, maybe someone listening right now needs to hear this. You are not behind. You're not too late. You are learning exactly at your own pace. Keep going.
Yes. Learning a language isn't a race. It's a journey. Some days are easy, some days are hard. But every day you practice, you're one step closer to fluency.
So friends, here's our challenge for you today. Speak, just speak. Maybe talk to your pet or your mirror or record a short video. Don't correct yourself too much, just express yourself.
And after you do, come back to this episode and write in the comments, "I spoke English today." We'll celebrate with you. And maybe even share your story in our next episode.
That's right, because every time you try, you're winning against fear. You're choosing courage. You're becoming better.
And remember, mistakes don't define you. Effort does. Heart does. The fact that you're listening right now means you care. You're already doing more than most people ever do.
Yes, you're part of something amazing here. We're learning together. So keep showing up, keep trying, keep making mistakes. Because that's what real growth looks like.
Before we finish, I want to leave you with this thought. You are not learning English just to speak. You're learning it to connect, to dream, to open doors. And that's worth every mistake, every awkward pause, every little oops.
Beautifully said, Victoria. So friends, don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to fail, because that's how you fly.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and share it with a friend who needs a little motivation today. We'd love to hear your stories.
And remember, repeat, don't retreat. Keep learning, keep smiling, and we'll see you in the next episode of TalkiCast.
If you like this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to TalkiCast.